We're on the internet.
Are we on now there?
Hello and welcome to Rachel Feed. It's the
Hello
new,
there.
We just rebranded today. Rachel made a massive investment of capital into the SonarFeed business,
Yeah, I
and
spent so much
we're
money
now
on
Rachel
this.
Feed. So welcome.
I didn't get paid.
Same. It's like ECS. We'll double your salary.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry.
That's
It'll be fine.
It's
So we're here at the Berliner Pub, downtown Renton.
4th of Main.
It was
Yep,
okay.
Renton.
People are busy.
Yeah.
So I am, I don't know, somebody, I guess. I don't even know. Eileen pointed out that I knew what day it was today, and
You're ahead of most people.
I think at this point. So I'm Tom Bureau, a.k.a. Bougie Hooli. To my left, y'all right.
Mickey Turner ESQ on the Twitters.
Rachel, Alonsi Rachel on Twitter.
How do you feel about our new rebrand?
I like it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, yeah, it's right there on the screen. Come on, technology. It's amazing. We'll change it to something else obnoxious at some other point. It'll be Rigby Feed before the end of the evening. If we could figure it out, I'm definitely going to find a camera and just put it on Rigby.
The second dog ever on SonarFeed.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Good call.
They make it better when dogs are on SonarFeed, because then we have to look at you guys less.
Did you bring your...
It's fair. It's
Did
fair.
you bring your
Mm.
outfit change, by the way?
I did. When someone else comes up to chat, I'll cycle.
We'll
out.
change it at some point.
Yeah.
Cool. So what
Absolutely.
what should we talk about?
Oh, we should talk about that.
Okay.
Oh, Victor Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say that I was in the restroom during that goal, and everyone stopped what they were doing. Just wait. And then hugged in the bathroom.
That's kind of gross.
Yeah.
It was
right?
funny.
Right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. if
I mean,
were you.
people
Mm.
put their parts back. But whatever.
Yeah. That's,
We were okay with it.
yeah.
I'm quiet, or everyone's quiet. I don't have time for that. Trying to
I don't
produce
get
a
paid
live
enough
television
money to
show.
do that.
On a scale of
I
1 to
have do
10,
that
we're at
for
a
ECS,
2
and
apparently.
It's terrible enough.
Which
So.
is,
That's
a metaphor for my life, but also not good for the show.
We did have a TA member get
So,
in our
how
mentions
are we
leading
now?
up to the Cup. There was like, at least we've scored a goal in the MLS Cup. And I'm pretty
Is
sure
that
the
better?
Sounders saw that. They're like, okay, fuck you.
We can definitely hear Rachel, so we're
Oh,
good.
good. I'm sorry.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, what should we talk about?
You know,
Yesterday was okay.
it was good. It's still really fresh for me. I haven't rewatched yet, and I know a lot of people did today. That's a match I'm gonna have to rewatch.
Yeah.
It just seemed ridiculous, end to end. That Svensson guy, he was okay.
Yeah.
He had a decent. I think his.
I have a cup full of knives next to me, too. So
Like, actually.
That.
Yeah. There is a fork in there.
we'll fork
She
you.
can.
That was a really good response. Anyway, I think we all felt really good going into this match, but I don't know if I expected it to end the way that it did.
I want to give a
Excessive
shout out.
celebration, yellow cards, totally worth it.
I want to give a shout out to Justin Morrow for doing so much for both of our MLS Cup victories. That really,
We
he
should,
deserves
we
at
could
least a
send him
star from all
something.
of that.
I don't know what that troll
Can we
item
send him
would
an
be.
ECS membership
Oh,
with a card signed by
yeah,
leadership?
You can gift them memberships
Yes.
now.
Well,
This
I
seems
think
like-
the answer is that is clearly the answer.
This
so.
seems like a quality troll.
Yeah.
I'm here for this. Maybe not as good as when. Is it Applebee's though, or it was Chili's? I think. Yeah.
Would
Derek
it be
and I
like
still don't know if
Applebee's
he actually
in
Do they
Toronto?
have Chili's in Toronto? We need.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Does anyone know that? Are there Chili's in Toronto?
Why the fuck would anyone know that, Tom?
Yes.
I don't know. People know random shit.
Well, that's true.
This is, by the way, why we're on Rachel Feed. So I don't know. What was your experience like?
Okay, so I was in the press box for about 15 minutes or so. Then I left and came down and watched.
Was that like?
I was 100% intentional.
Okay.
I was not going to spend the game in the press box. So I went up there, did a lap basically, went down, watched the entire first half, went back up to the press box. I watched the two goals up there, came back down, and was in the elevator as the third goal was scored. So that was unfortunate.
I mean, maybe that's good, like luck stuff where you
So-
walk away.
So I was
You're
away
stuck
from
in the
for
bathroom,
goal 2.
and
Yeah.
you're stuck in an elevator. We're locking you in both of those locations. Forever.
That was one of the rights a couple matches ago. Like kept going to the bathroom, and we kept scoring, and they were like, "Just go back to the bathroom." Like rest of the match, you're in the rest.
You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, for me, it was just kind of a surreal experience, just kind of wandering around because I didn't have a seat technically, and I sat with some friends for a little
You
bit.
could have just come to GA. I mean, no one else did.
Yeah.
So,
It was pretty empty.
Yeah, it's-
like 10 minutes before kick, and people were like, "I can't find a seat." And I'm like, "Bummer." Get to know your neighbor.
it was that was pretty crazy. It was great to see the stand so full that early, because I went up to the press box beforehand, and the section was just completely packed like an hour before the game.
People were
and just
thrilled
so
about the flags.
yeah.
Thrilled.
Except for that one lady. Who's
Someone
been a season
actually-
ticket holder for
someone
2
actually
years.
said, "I have been a season ticket holder for 2 years, and I have never seen this many flags." And the usher's like, "Okay. Would you like me
that
to
it?
reseat you somewhere else?"
Do people not understand
Okay.
the
I was like,
signage?
"But you have a GA seat, and you're upset about this?" Okay.
It's 2019, and
Yeah.
yes, people still complain about it.
that's
11 years later.
I don't even know what to
No
say.
one reads.
It's- yeah.
People don't read their ticket purchase page. They definitely don't read the signage coming into the stadium.
That's
Though
also fair.
I did like the signage about not having pyrotechnics.
Yeah, and people didn't read
That
that,
was
one
fantastic.
either.
They
And it was
didn't read
great.
it at all. That was I haven't listened to it yet, but I guess Matt on the broadcast was like, "And there's smoke to my right."
No,
Yes.
because to the left of me is this, and to the right of me there's smoke bombs happening.
So Rachel, big takeaways for you. What was other than Victor? That's the obvious one. We'll get to that.
I got to be up on the upper 121 capo stand for all of pregame and the first like 15-ish minutes of the match. And so I got to be up on a stand and just turn around, look at the whole stadium while that massive display was up. And that was pretty fucking epic. I know a lot of people couldn't see anything with the cards up and we're just in there for the moment, but I got to take a peek at everything that was happening, and it was a moment that I'll probably never forget for the rest of my life.
The display was insane.
Yeah, I want to
Also,
hear a
I
little bit more
appreciate
about
that there's a
just
Stefan Fry
that.
commercial on TV right now.
That's really random.
Yeah. It's good to see that the cross promotion of the Seahawks and Sounders during Seahawks game. So
Then Victor scored
That guy did a dance.
my tiny Spaniard, and
How many tiny Spaniards, by the way, did y'all drink at Temple?
I only had one.
Like the bartender actually said, "I will never forget how to make this drink ever again."
Yeah, we changed his life that night.
Not for the better. Like
For
maybe
the way better.
financially,
Yes.
but
But yeah, it was a very emotional moment for me, and pretty much everyone in the little bubble right around the upper 121 capo stand just checked on me, kind of like when Jordan scored the hat trick, and I was like, "Bread needs a human." It was amazing. I came out to like 40 Twitter notifications that are like, "Someone check on Rachel," and then he was awarded the MVP and was handed the glass statue and had the most like, "The fuck do I do with this stupid piece of glass?" look on his face. I just want the big metal thing, and it was amazing.
I did vote for Victor.
him getting up on the stand and singing his song
Yes.
was hands down probably one of the most amazing things that I think I've ever witnessed in my entire life because he was super into it and it was just amazing. Yeah, it was really great.
Oh, Victor.
Oh, Victor.
There was some really interesting stuff on the stand. There are some really, really funny photos of like Macklemore and Sean Wheeler is just like,
Super unimpressed.
yeah. Kyle hugging Coach.
That was a great one.
That was pretty cool.
Damon got a really cool picture of Elias and I up on Upper 121, very clearly singing Twist and Shout. So that was pretty fun.
I would say the like in stadium moments were exactly what you would have wanted them to be. Like if you had scripted it in advance. Although maybe it would be like Victor Rodriguez just runs up to where Rachel is in the upper capo stand. That would have been as like photo finish as you can get. But
I was a little nervous where you're going with that. So
you know, it just we're keeping it PG.
Big shout out to Brandon though, who used to work for Sounders Media. He came up to me. We celebrated for a second, and then I was like, "Go get me Victor." And he tried super hard for like 3 minutes, but Victor got pulled away for a press conference. But
So
I really appreciated that.
Do you still have you don't have a wristband? Wristbands.
Oh,
show hands.
wristband roll call. Nice.
50-50. It's never coming off.
Okay, I want to preserve it the way that it is.
I mean, it probably
Plus,
is,
I
but
still
yeah.
resent you for your comments
gonna be
about
super
having
gross
to
at
eat
some
Na-
point. I'm gonna
nature
be
will
like,
take
I
its
gotta go.
course eventually.
So have it in 2016 and 2017.
Save those wristbands. Don't save those wristbands. Yeah. Like, they just get gross after a while. Question in the chat: why do the announcers hate the Sounders? Didn't seem like they gave them much credit, even though they won 3-1.
Was Casey a commentator?
No, he was on the radio side, so I assume he's talking about ESPN
Yes.
guys. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they can go fuck themselves because we
I
won.
think it
so
was
it's
just
fine.
mostly, it was the same game the same kind of game as RSL, I would say.
Narrative.
Yeah, narrative. That's another. But it was kind of the same game as RSL, where the Sounders didn't have much possession, but Toronto didn't do anything with it.
They also didn't have any shots on goal in
Yeah.
2016 and still managed to win. So fuck your stats.
Yeah. And yeah, so they didn't do anything with the ball. So okay, great, you pass the ball around the midfield line and
Yes, please.
don't do anything. So, and I think they just
Do you
kind
want another drink?
of.
Just pre-say
Yes.
Yeah.
I
You'll
thought
need it at
he
some
was
point.
telling us to do fourth verse for a second.
I mean, I'd be here for that.
I didn't hear Toronto sing, so
They were gone really fast,
yeah.
which is super cool. Is there a question? No, just raising your hand.
Yeah. So anyway,
Got it.
Yeah. So
I'll
anyway,
take that.
so yeah, that didn't really mean anything that they didn't have a lot of possession because nothing else was really going on. And once they finally got the goal, and once Rodriguez got in the game, they were great for the most part. Except
course
for
they were.
Yeah, yes, of course. But Rodriguez was legitimately the best player on the field
Which is
when
nuts
he got
to think about.
when he
the
got
amount
on
of time
there.
he spent on the field.
Yeah, he completely changed how they played, which he has done when he has been able to get on the field the entire year.
Oh,
he was
healthy players are a thing?
yeah, that's
Weird.
something that helps. And everyone remembers the 5-1-1 start when they were just blitzing people, and Rodriguez was right up there with Morris
Being
and Rui
perfect.
Diaz, doing basically everything. And he allowed them to control the ball a lot more. They created some chances, and it was. I understand why he didn't start, and we're obviously talking hindsight and say, "Oh yeah, Victor was great, so why didn't he start?" But I still think it's a good question to ask, but everyone knows Smetzer at this point. He's he's not going to fix what's not broken, and so Rodriguez was never going to start the game. But when you see him in that 30-plus minute cameo, you just wonder what could have been.
Right. Well,
Again,
but there's also
they
the
won the
value
game.
of like you have a super sub or two
Yes.
that you're like, oh, I see what this other team's doing. It's trash. I'm going to sub in Victor Rodriguez, Clint Dempsey. Like, we've read this story before.
It's really cute that they used Josie Altidore as their super sub, and we just needed tiny ass Victor. So,
Is Josie still offside?
yeah,
No? We're just checking. No one is sure.
he missed his flight because he's still offside. Like the guys in the airport directing the planes are like, he's offside, bro. Can't get him on.
So Garrison asks, chances of Victor is here when the new season starts.
Shut up, Garrison.
1 billion.
Garrison, do we need to remind you about the knives? Throwing instead of axe throwing.
Are we optimistic?
Yes.
I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say the chances are better today
Now.
than they were.
Well, at least it's not cut
Last-
day,
well,
like it's been
yeah,
every other year.
Yeah.
So.
I would say Garth's comments after the game, where they said they're going to rely on their veterans for CCL, combined with
Oh, you mean
his
actually giving a shit about CCL?
yes,
Weird.
correct, and combined with the obvious quality that he has an option for next year. I doubt they would pick it up at that number, so they're going to probably try to renegotiate if they can. Same for Roman Torres as well. So I would say that's probably 50-50. And then there's also does he want to come back? And I don't, he seems to be happy, but I don't have any idea about that. So I'd say 50-50 at this point is a reasonable guess, which is sitting on the fence, but
It's a
yes.
somewhat educated comment.
Yes.
There. Okay.
somewhat.
Fuck you, Tom.
Yes.
I see you.
I'm definitely, like I said, I'm more confident now than I was, say in early August.
Okay.
When I would have said he was probably gone.
So we could analyze this thing to death.
Yeah, sure.
But we don't need to do that
No.
ever.
I want to hear about the TIFO a little bit more because it was pretty incredible.
Oh, that's
fucking
Tifo?
cool.
It was the first, yes, that TIFO. That's 170,000th of the TIFO,
Roughly, yeah.
basically. That was the first full stadium TIFO.
Yes.
And without getting into the details of the arts and crafts, how long did it take to kind of formulate from thought to execution?
The lower was happening,
Okay.
and then I don't know, Rachel. What was it? A week?
It was less than that.
It
We
was
started
the
on
Friday prior.
Tuesday.
We decided to do it,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then Tuesday started
Tuesday
cutting
to
the rest.
Thursday.
175 table rolls
God, that's so good.
just for the upper.
Yeah.
Shipping is really expensive.
Yeah.
When you
Short-term
have to
shipping
be
of
able to cut
anything.
cards for an entire stadium. Yeah, Atlanta.
Yeah, so candidly, and this is where, like, again, the joke I had with the Seattle Times guy I talked to the other day, he's like, oh, well, can we come out to TIFO sessions? Can we do this? And I was like, that's the one thing that you absolutely 100% are not doing. And they were like,
I would like to name Sean Wheeler the Tifo Queen instead of whoever the fuck that is from Atlanta in the tire
So-
commercial.
whatever.
Oh, is that the American Outlaws one?
No.
No,
no.
it's an Atlanta commercial.
Oh.
It's for
Yeah. And you're like, were you paying attention? Yeah.
Thank
I'm really thrilled that they made that decision, and the team,
Thank you.
just like they had done once before, they actually did their own cards once in the lower when we had done our own display. We saw them leaning in a direction, and we were like, nope, we're going to do this. And in roughly 4 days, the whole thing got
That's so good.
together. And then, like, seriously, shout out to volunteers. Like, the thing, TIFO and a lot of other things are very thankless. 100+ people showed up
Wow.
Saturday, and we
In
had
the rain?
a 4-hour window in the stadium, and we were done in less than 3. And it was to the point where, like, if you had blue, it was checkerboard. Like, if you had blue, you could just stay in your row and just like do the section you were in, and then just walk 2 sections and just keep going because there were that many people filling in the space. The pace of it was absurd. And same thing we saw with painting and some of the other work that had been done. Like, again, you get more than 20 people to come out and do anything, and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing how
It's just
efficient
absurd.
that is.
And again, not that we don't know that, but it's
Yeah.
one thing to like, no, if I had 5 more people, this would be better. And then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, we got 80 more people. And they were like, I guess, do we go to the bar? Like, what do we do
That seems like a
now?
yes.
I
We
think
did,
that
by the way.
Yeah.
we got so many first timers at TIFO over the week that hopefully this will encourage more people to come out to
Yep.
see how easy it is to contribute to something that's a lot bigger than yourself, that's going to contribute to something that really changes the mentality of a game for the boys. They see those big displays and like you can see them get fired up.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Just to see, again, like you said, random people. I'm like, I don't know who 18 of those people are over there. But they're really fast, so cool.
Yeah.
Keep doing that. That was a lot of fun. And setting up is not always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that was just, I would say it was a different thing because a lot of times we've dominated with like curtains and text banners and other things. And this was like real dead simple curtain and then just all the cards of all time.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. And while the work volume is ultimately probably the same between the like setup and the cutting and the, painting and whatever else, but the delivery, like, it was like physically numbing kind of in the moment.
Yeah.
And just seeing it all go up. And it was funny to see the like, it wasn't up and we're like, oh, please pick up your cards. Please do it. And then all of it went up. And it's just like, bang.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah. And then people were like, why am I still holding this up? My arms are hurting really badly right now. And we're like, don't care. Keep holding it up.
I
And
was
they
really
did.
impressed with the whole stadium doing such
Yeah.
a good job.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they were going to fuck it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Again, we complained about the drone.
Those Max Aquino
but
shots.
the
of
drone
it.
shot was really good.
Yeah, right.
It was good. It was neat to see everybody get involved, and it was like from the moment between the bluest skies to the choreo to that call and repeat sounders was dumb. And I'd heard it obviously in the stadium, but I watched the video of it that someone had posted, Elsa had posted it. It's insane. And we've been loud before, but that's like kind of silly.
I think
Yeah.
the second boom boom clap though, like the echo from the clap was like it was
Good word.
insane.
Max says haunting. It's a good word. The one about Bob being better than something?
That was quite clever.
Where they like actually they checked
yeah.
off the last one.
Yeah, that was good.
Someone brought it into ECS at the end of the match, which was awesome. Oh, I don't know if I saw that. Max is going to do some detective work. Max has photos of literally everything.
And everyone.
Max made, well, we'll get you on here, we'll talk about it, but you made confetti angels at some point. Saw that. That's awesome.
So the march, I want to talk about the march because
Yeah, that was fun. I ruined my shoes, and I'm super okay with it. Don Garber was in the march, and I almost bumped into him. It was really funny.
Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, he announced he was going to do it ahead of time, and I was.
And then we all made fun of him on the internet.
Yeah, I was like,
Rachel
seems like a
definitely
terrible
made
idea.
fun of him on the internet.
Yeah, I added that motherfucker. I didn't care.
Anyway,
I add
let's
him
talk about
like
the march.
once a
What do you
week.
What do you want to talk about?
Mm.
It was big.
Mm.
A couple of people showed
Yeah.
up to the point where I was at Fuel, and it's,
Don Garber,
I don't
who
know,
was also an
10,
asshole.
20-ish, somewhere around there. And Kyle Shields calls me, and he's like, just basically yelling, like, y'all need to get fucking people to the march because it's a disaster. Like, you had to use the alleys. And, like, that's a good cheat
I used
always to use the alley.
mhm.
And I just grabbed the microphone at the bar, and I was like, march now, let's go. And people were like, no? And I'm like,
Yeah. I went down First Avenue because it was
Yeah.
just
Oh,
there
yeah,
was
I
just
saw
no
that.
way
We
you were
actually
getting.
had to bring the banner and everything
Yeah.
like a different way because it was so bad.
Yeah.
And again, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Thanks,
great.
Macklemore, I guess.
What do they have the estimates at? The estimate has grown from.
I don't see what the
with, like,
actual estimate is, though.
I've heard 5, 10, and up to 25,000
I'm gonna say
at this point.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say it's
I mean, come on
between
now.
5 and 10.
Yeah,
if I had to guess, because you got in the stadium, it was packed. Like I went
Mm-hmm.
at the head end of the march, and there were a ton of people inside, and the concourses were full. It was pretty insane.
It wasn't until we turned the corner and we saw the north end of the building and all those people standing on the ramps waiting for the march to get there.
Every hole in those ramps.
There wasn't
Yeah.
a single spot left.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was fantastic. And I mean, yeah, the Macklemore concert, I can kind of take or leave. It was fine.
I mean,
Hype up
honestly-
some casuals. I'm not going to get upset about it.
We're not the target
Yes,
audience.
yes.
B, did it help draw people to March? It absolutely
yeah,
did.
yeah.
And the timing worked out, and there's not a lot of things that ECS will ever agree with the front office on from a like March this or change this other thing.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, you're going to do this, and it's going to draw thousands of people to the march? Cool. Biggest march ever? Let's do it. And it's fine. And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
At the end of the day, they're
Wait,
going
we
to have their
had more
pomp and
people at our
circumstance.
march than Portland can fit in their stadium.
Possibly.
The math checks out. I
Scusa.
think.
No, that was fun. March was fun. I at some point had moved along. I was towards the front and went to the sidewalk, and Mark, his name just flew out of my brain, from the league that we all met with down in Vegas.
Abbott.
Mark Abbott was there, walking the other direction, and he's like, "Hi, Tom," and I was like, "Hi." And then Don Garber turns around and looks at me, and I was like, "Hi," and then I just kept going. And I was like, "I wish I had smoke to like give you right now, Don Garber." He would not have been pleased about that. So no one died that we know of. I don't think anyone got arrested.
Someone jumped on the field. It wasn't us. It was someone else.
I'm cool with that. I don't think anyone got arrested. And we all made it home, I think.
And we won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other set.
Oh,
as well. Yeah.
and MLS Cup.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah, it was.
That's
It
not
was a
the first time that Eileen has lost her phone. Yeah.
Oh, so that was a casualty
It
of
won't-
the of
It's
the.
not the
Thumbs
last
down.
time.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good.
Andy lost his phone too.
People got to stop leaving stuff at my house. Anyway.
Yeah. So how was?
I don't know where to go.
Yeah,
from
no.
here.
After the game, what I was doing stuff.
We waved
so-
flags and did other things in the section. Security did at one point come over to me, and I had the last flag up. I had the IF flag, and they're like, basically something like, "Did you get enough waving out of that flag today? Like, are you done?" And it wasn't like a you don't have to go home, but you can't stay
Yes.
here. But it was
It was.
almost at
Kind of.
that.
It kind of sounds like
And
it
we were
was.
like, "Oh no, it's cool." And I saw Jada had tweeted about it, that we had it up the whole match. Stadium staff was actually pretty fun because they were like, "We don't care that flags are blocking your view. Also, just pile in the section. This is cool. Keep going."
Yeah.
When I was walking into the section, I went to try to pull up my jacket sleeve to show my wristband. My wristband was stuck like way up here. I just did this motion. They're like, yeah, whatever.
You're good. Yeah.
They didn't give a fuck.
They did not. Yeah. But hey, weird. We all survived. We all got in the section. Ish.
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah, so
It's
it was in the
worth it,
section for a
though.
while. Didn't get hot dogs afterwards. News update.
Small tifo on the west side was a bear with sunglasses on and a scarf, so probably will brew a tifo. So that's what it looks like.
I love
cool with that.
making a tifo for
Mystery
you.
solved.
Whatever works.
But the section looked fantastic even after the match. As they were doing the
People
trophy
stayed a
round.
long time.
Damn it, Max.
That was something. Was that
Yeah.
the
Knives at me.
glass of knives?
No, I have my own.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, was that a glass of knives?
Yes.
Yeah, got it.
But yeah, it was great to see everyone just kind of taking it in. The players were obviously having a blast. How many players went into the stands or close to the stands to celebrate? What would you say the count was?
How many players came up to the stand?
At least 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6? 6 plus?
Yeah. Because you had. Okay.
Beam. 7. 7 plus.
7 plus. Yeah.
That's a lot. Super awesome.
Yeah.
And Schmetz, which is awesome as always.
Fuck Macklemore indeed.
True. So 6.
6 is.
Sorry. All the rolled on family members.
Except for the one who works for LA, because he's a fucking loser. Yeah, he was. I appreciated
He
that
did
he
tweet, "We are
didn't
world
want
champs."
to come up there, though.
Can we talk about the world champ hats as well?
We have to talk about the world
because they're
champ hat.
amazing.
I'm
absolutely amazing.
uncomfortable.
So, do you have one?
No, I do not have it. I commandeered it from somebody yesterday for the photo.
So-
last.
Who made them? Do we know?
Gary did.
Is this
Yes.
is this a Schweinsteiger troll? Like
Oh
a
no!
slow,
This was, I think, someone
was
who has
bad at their job.
someone knows very little about soccer and decided, oh, Sounders and World Cup obviously goes together, and
I don't think you have enough
the
tomato
reds
on your
and
plate.
the colors were slightly off as well.
and they were $10.
Is
Yes.
that the new Impossible Burger?
And then they had the red.
But like legit
yeah.
collector's item.
Oh, it.
Are you uncomfortable?
If this
Oh, there you
guy
go.
has any social
Sharing
media
is caring.
awareness, he will have these
work
at the
this for Rob.
parade, and they will be $25.
Oh my god! If
a
they're
pop.
at the march
It's
and the parade,
Yeah.
whatnot tomorrow,
100% sell out, and I will probably purchase one.
Probably.
$25.
Yes.
I don't know if I
Okay.
$10. I'm in.
Oh yeah, yes, 100%. Yeah.
And it was a low rent sign too. It was
Yes.
like handwritten turn. Yeah.
Just-
I have never seen as many
excessive.
tomatoes as bread
What
has
is
right now.
that?
That's a tomato.
She's trying to reassemble like we tried the lime
Yeah.
last week. How did you get so many tomatoes? If you need
The
tomatoes,
same reason
come on
I
down to
end
the
up with
Berliner,
limes.
downtown Renton. Seems about right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that might be the opposite. So, so hopefully the hats will be there for the parade. I mean, I feel like they will. I think there's like a good 60 to 75% chance this guy will have some inventory out
Okay.
for the game or for the parade.
Was
so.
it the same guy who was selling the USA scarves outside the stadium?
That is entirely likely.
Stop. I did, by the way, enjoy all the
amazing.
bots, the troll bots tweeting at ECS today about being Antifa
Oh,
thugs.
God.
And I was like, what happened to the internet? Like,
Okay.
when did it get this way?
Yeah.
Never mind, don't answer that question. Nice.
Flame K all day.
Nice.
Yes.
The question was, did we see drunk Chad Marshall?
I've been told by Chad Marshall, I must say, he was very drunk.
I have to say, I went into a bar today to get something, and they were like, hold on a second. And they came around and hugged me, and they're like, we're just glad you made it back today. And I was like, I went home at 8. What did everyone else do?
I don't know
Yes.
what time Dave called me last night, but it felt like it was 11 o'clock. And he called me to tell me that Talkie Talkie was on in the background of the Gustav Benson video.
Talkie Talkie being on in the background is a good reason to call people, especially Rachel.
I've yet to see this video. Shit happens.
Welcome to Rachel Feed.
Larry throws weens.
All right, so we had drunk Chad Marshall. Uh,
Who is now one of very few people with 3 MLS.
good call. One of very few people with 3 MLS Cups. Thanks, Emily. Also,
Yes.
Stephen Fry doing interviews while holding things that you drink or eat is a meme. Like, that shit's happening.
Did you see the flying pizza?
Well,
I did see the flying
I
pizza.
missed that.
Lickett did a Twitter thread about Steph being interviewed.
Did you
holding
see him
things.
running out on the field? Stretz actually tweeted like video of it.
Yeah.
It was like an hour after the match, and he's like running the end line, and everyone's like, "What are you doing? Why do you even have clothes on anymore?"
Why are you not covered in beer and champagne?
What?
No clean sheet, you gotta be quiet.
Dutro's mad.
Good call.
Oh, yeah.
Even if that's not true, that makes the story so much better.
That would be fantastic.
I mean, don't say that in the wrong city, though. No clean sheets, you got to do lines. It's a little tentative of a statement. We're getting questions about the primary kit.
New one next year.
New primary next year.
I heard they're doing all retro for 25 years.
We're losing control, apparently.
So that must be the first time this person has
Weird.
watched this show.
Just wait till we start having people come up here and
Yeah,
talk.
yeah.
Shit is off.
Yeah. But yeah, we're getting new primaries. No information, obviously, because they keep those
Yes, Jerry.
under lock and key, and those things.
I know
Almost
someone who
never
knows
leak.
what it is.
Well, okay, so there is.
and he's sitting about 8 feet from us right now.
I can throw knife.
Possibly. So.
But that stuff never comes out. I mean, you'll get someone to hopefully tell us what it is, but pictures and stuff almost
look it up
never leak.
on.
Footy headlines, I think.
Google.
Yeah.
So we're gonna. I'm gonna move
Mm-hmm.
because this is gonna be the fun part. And Rachel
Yeah.
Are you
is
gonna
in
host?
charge
Oh, she's
God.
hosting.
of talking to people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move. This is happening. Good luck.
Seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah. Who's coming in?
Max Aquino.
Yeah. You're up. Yeah.
Where am I going?
Rachel, you can come to the big chair. And here, I'll scoot down too. So, Max, you come over here, and we'll just kind of go like this.
Cool, I gained a laptop.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm almost out of beer. This is a bad thing.
They'll bring you
We'll
one.
get you something.
I know, well, he's already on it. Well,
All right.
champion.
Yes. Hello, champion.
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 All right.
All right. I want you to tell us who you are for people who may not know. I'm sure we all do, though.
Some people do, some people don't. My name is Max Aquino. I am the lead photographer for Sounder at Heart. And yeah, I do photo-y things.
Yeah.
On the internet, most of my shit's either on Facebook or Twitter. I do have an Instagram account that occasionally gets updated, and I did do more this week, but I don't like Instagram. So Twitter, Max Aquino Photo, AQUINO.
All right. So, give us the kind of the scene from your perspective, obviously down on the field.
It was not as packed as I thought it was going to be.
Which is interesting, just to interrupt, because when I was in the press box, the photo line looked insane. It looked like
And
like
the league
50,
had the audacity
50
to deny
Botox.
ECS Photog's credentials. So
There's a so first starting off with the people that got denied. I did have a chat with the one of the league guys, and they asked how many people could we fit down on the field, and the Sounders had never actually run into this problem, so they gave their best guess. They went to that limit, extended it by about 30 or 40, using their first algorithm of who should be in, should be not. Beyond that, then they went to the Sounders front office and said, who are the people that must be there? And saying only like 3 or 4 more, and the Sounders gave them another 10 at least, I know. So I will say that based off of their best guess, they exceeded capacity by a good 40 photographers. But it turns out that just the way things shook out, we could have fit another 40 to 50 down there, in my mind. Now, it would have been packed, it would have been cramped, and I'm going to say this as nicely as I can. Photographers are very much prima donnas. We all are. Hi, I'm one of them too at times. But there were so many people complaining about not having the elbow room they're used to, not realizing, up in Toronto, we were 3 people deep. You could not move. You were not editing on the field. You weren't switching cameras. You picked your lens and you stuck with it because you didn't have time to do this. No, you're all stuck in like this. LAFC, when they opened up, same deal. We had 3 people per seat. That's reserved for one person. We were going boom, 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 just to cram people in so that no one was sent. Well, people were still sent to the upper deck. But so with that, I think my personal opinion is it's a bad look on the league to deny the supporter groups. But based off of the information that they had, I'm not as angry as I was. And I was angry too. I will say that Senator Hart went to bat for people.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. And we got denied, and then we went to bat again, and then they said shut up or else, and we didn't ask what or else was at that point. We just can't. But at the end of the day, we could have fit more. Hopefully, the next time we host, they'll have better information. Thank you.
Tom, I don't know how you do this. These comments are super shitty. People are fucking dumb.
I like how Tom is just standing there in the back, just soaking it all in. So, aside, going to the on the field in the action.
Sure.
What were a couple of your favorite shots?
So like ones that I took, or just okay. So some of my favorite.
Yeah, both.
Okay, some of the favorite photos I had was I got Rodriguez on his goal right as the ball cleared the defenders, and you have a really pissed off look on his face, which is fantastic.
Beautiful. My favorite photo.
Yay. The celebrations were interesting. Normally with celebrations, the players run to the corners, and we get them as they're running towards the corner. This time, it seemed like with the exception of Rodriguez, every time a goal got scored, they turned and ran towards the sidelines. So we didn't have a chance to really get any good celebration photo. They were okay. My best celebration photo was Torres jumping on the pile and looking right at me by pure luck. Or maybe I paid him. You never know. But beyond that, it was another game. It was another game for the most part. I will say that the display was trying to figure out where the best spot to get the photo of it was a question. And I'm really happy with my photo. I see some different angles that I like as well. But it seemed like this was one of the few displays. This was one of the few displays where you wanted to be in the upper deck. You did not want to be field side. If you're field side, you wanted as wide of an angle as possible. I absolutely loved the curtain that ECS did, but this was one of the few times where the focus wasn't on the curtain. It was different. Not good. I wouldn't say it's better that way, but I'll say it's different. And I love that the stadium actually bought into what ECS was doing. And it seemed like across the board, people said, "Oh, they're raising their banners. I should too." So that was cool.
Awesome. What about so no real iconic photos that you took or saw?
I would say that, I don't know. I think I got some good ones. I'm pretty happy with the. Between you got Rodon and Morris kissing the cup together on top of the stand for the ECS. That's the bromance will never die, and I love it. I never want to lose them. The photos I posted on Facebook and Twitter are pretty much. They're up. They're among some of them that are up there. And just because it's MLS Cup means they got way more response than normal, but that's okay. I will say that I didn't have the flexibility I normally have, but that's once again that's okay. You figured it out in the first 10 minutes that you're not going to get to switch cameras. So pick a lens, stick with it, and ride or die. You're going to get what you're going to get. But to me, there were some really interesting moments to that match. When ECS started, "Come on, Sounders, score a goal," that's the first time I've heard the stadium start singing a song that wasn't a call and repeat.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's the first time we scored while singing that. Which
That's actually also a thing that I've noted over the years that we've never.
done it like twice.
Oh, I must have missed the other one.
Yeah.
But that was a cool moment, and it was it's one of those things that you don't realize until it's over what you've just experienced, because you're working. You have a job to do, and on the field everything's going, but then something just happened. The boom boom clap. It was. I used the word haunting, and it was haunting. Just the silence with the echo, with 69,000 people. God, I hope we do that again.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
It's weird that Tom's become the peanut gallery.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this.
Tom is a peanut gallery.
The other funny thing was, about halfway through the first half, I just kept thinking, I can't hear the ECS at all. Are they quieter than normal? That's weird. And then halftime occurred, and I realized,
Rude.
well, no, I thought it was really weird, because I thought we were revved up. It looks like everyone's going bonkers. Then I realized that I'm losing my hearing. At halftime, like, people are talking to me next to me. I'm like, what? What? And then I was like, oh, shit. I should put one earplugs. Yeah.
So Apple Watches now track decibel countings.
Okay.
And I saw a couple of screenshots from people that received an alert that they were in an unhealthy decibel level. And if they continued to stay where they were, they would begin to have short-term hearing loss.
And when you're in CenturyLink Field, where all of the noise is directed onto the field by design, yeah, the boys could hear you down there.
Yeah.
So, hi, I'm Tom. No, I'm just kidding.
This is the worst game of musical chairs. Tom doesn't have enough drinks.
It's water.
Uh-huh. Sure.
That's vodka.
I will say though, I don't know if you guys have any specific questions, but there were some things that I thought were very special about this. First off, the obvious, we're hosting at home, and with that, the most important thing to me is this was the vindication for everyone that could not go to Toronto in 2016. Whether it was finances, whether it was scheduling, whether it was doubt being able to get a ticket, whether the plane ticket shot up too high, not being able to get off work, having family obligations, whatever it was, it's not
3 times as many people that they get in their stadium.
Yeah, and even then, we lost people this year that should have been able to be there, but we just couldn't because prices and 69,000 people is not enough. Or 69,000 seats is not enough. So, but this was the vindication for everyone that couldn't go, and I think that was extremely special. I thought it was cool that Garth Lagerwey was down at the march. He was right behind me as it started up, and I heard him say, "This is the coolest thing I've ever seen." So when the smoke started going,
Garth out.
yeah. And
Well, if he likes the smoke, he might have to be Garth in.
Damn it. Totally kidding.
Anyway,
or at least I think it was him. I'm pretty sure it was him. He's right. I know he's right behind
Go
me.
with
So
it.
yeah, we're rolling with it.
that's the story now.
If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure it was him.
If
Then-
you're from the media and you want to quote, it's Max
Oh God.
Aquino.
And look, I've been fired. And then this is a more of a there's a couple more personal notes on this one. So Mike Russell, who is the longtime photographer, Sounder at Heart, right when we the last time he shot a Sounders main match was the 2016 Cup. And that was his sort of retirement off into the sunset. He still shoots the rain, but it was just too much because he wanted to be in the stands with his wife.
So he Zach Scotted it?
What's that?
He Zach Scotted it?
I pulled him out of retirement. I right when we got, I said, "Hey, you want to shoot the Cup?" He's like, "If you need me." I was like, "That's not what I asked." By the way, I already submitted your application, so. So yeah, and it was cool having him there. It was actually really cool. I've told the story many a time, and he hates it when I tell it. But when I was I'm always learning. But when I was first getting into the Sounders, I specifically sat next to him and listened to the clicks of his camera to figure out when he was taking his photos. And that's a story I'll keep telling because it's one of my favorites because that's how I learned. I sat right next to him. I was like, okay, I have the same angle as him. Then I'd hear click, click. He's a sniper. I'm like Rambo with a machine gun. I fire like crazy. And he just picks a shot, he waits, he's patient, and he just nails it every time. I don't know how he does it. I still don't know. Hey, I saw his photos. His photos are going up tomorrow, and I'm like, how the hell did you do that?
He didn't come to SonarFeed?
I don't know if he knew about it.
You got that picture of Jordan taking a bow.
That was a great
The
picture.
actual bow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actual cow with like the little grin. Like
So good. I mean, we talked about this before.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't need to do that, and he totally does it.
I appreciate that he doesn't just bow at us, but he does like the both hand. He could wave at us and walk away.
Like we would literally just keep singing it. Like, I mean, that's a good troll, actually. Like, just don't listen. Just be like, what? Jordan Morris seems like the least likely troll ever. That's actually a thing. Having gone to a ton of games at Yankee Stadium, the call the players' names out before the game starts, and they will every so often not wave for a really long time, and they don't stop saying that one player's name until they turn around and wave, and they'll be like, A-Rod, he's somebody who would do that shit. But it's the acknowledgement, I think, that Sounders fans all up get from players, coaches, FO, etc., is insane to me. Like, it just, I've said this on the show 100 times. It just feels so very different than anything I've really been a part of before. And like when Brian Schmetzer walks up to people and knows their names, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why do you know this person? And they care. And that's super cool.
He saw me after the game and was like, Rachel, oh my God, we did it, and gave me a huge hug. And I was like, I don't know how to process this. I think one of the coolest experiences I've had this season was actually when Suze and I went to San Jose when we were in Disneyland, and it was really cheap to fly up to San Jose. We were sitting at the end that's right by that, like the longest bar in a stadium or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. People need gimmicks, I guess, to go to stadiums. And we were singing Steph's song, and we only sang it once because it was just the two of us. He drops the ball, turns around, looks at us, and is like, keep going. And it's like, well, I'm not going to deprive Stephen Fry of his song. If he wants me to keep singing, I'll just keep singing until he tells me to stop.
And he will.
Yeah.
Or he'll just be like, whatever.
Yeah. He was like,
Victor singing a song is, that's a good Steph story, but like Victor, I don't know. We don't have a ton of exposure to him.
he
Like on the
did hit
regular?
my foot in that game before the game started during warm-ups.
I love how specific you are.
So,
You're like, he hit my foot that one
It
time.
was my left foot. I did have it propped up on the weird railing that they had. So I'm not going to say that's the reason why he scored in the MLS
I can't
Cup
believe you
final,
even made it
but
through Sunday.
Yeah. The amount of people I had rally around me was impressive.
Max, do you have any other questions, comments, thoughts, opinions?
I think it's absolutely hilarious how everyone knows the phrase the horseshoe of death at this point because we've employed it way too many times over the years. But when we put the other team on the horseshoe of death and make them pay for it, people still complain about our lack of possession. I'm sorry, we turned into a counterattack team and it worked. So we stuck with it and it worked.
Like, do you want to face any counterattack with Jordan Morris and Victor Rodriguez in
And
it?
Ruiz
'Cause
Diaz.
I do
Ruiz
not.
Diaz freaking swam through a defender and just took the ball and chipped the
But
keeper.
I would almost consider him marked, like
Yeah.
double marked. And it's like the Nagel thing, where Nagel was like, you guys aren't going to cover me at all? Okay, like I'm good with this. They're sometimes very scary. Like when full test Sounders are out there, which we saw, it's super fun.
And I got one last story here. Last time I was on the show, I was talking about how when I was up in Canada, I met a girl from the Netherlands, and basically when she found out that Kelvin Leerdam was on the team, she became a huge fan. There's some stories beyond that I told last time. I'm not going to go through them, but she got her illegal stream in the Netherlands got shut down 3 different times, but she finally found one, and she was able to tune in just as Leerdam scores the goal. And I was wondering, I wonder if she's watching right now. My phone blows up 2 minutes later going, ah. I'm like, yep, she's watching. She's watching. So we have a Netherlands fan. And that's all I got. Unless you have any questions beyond that. Get someone else up here.
We should get someone else up here. Let's get Rigby up here.
Nice seeing you guys.
Thanks, Max.
Bye, Max.
Rigby feed. Sleeping puppies are a thing.
I think we should get our travel monkey up
I
here.
definitely think I'm actually going to say you should both come up here, and I'm getting out of the way. I'm not leaving my phone here because I don't trust either of you.
No, I'll probably take 500 pictures. We would take 500 selfie pictures.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome up here.
Hi. What day is it? Where are we?
According to Tom, today's Monday.
Okay, cool. There was a match yesterday.
There was a match yesterday.
What's some stories?
You need to be a little bit louder.
I'm gonna try.
Pretend you're a capo.
I know. I don't know. What's my favorite story? You
your
go.
story?
You tell the story first.
So how did this week go for you, Eileen, with all the tickets?
It was a little insane.
That's
It was
all you
great.
got?
No, it was a lot insane, but
Eileen didn't even write me away the day when Toronto was
okay. Okay. There's a good story. So yes, I did travel to LA. That is actually a fun story. I did travel to LA. So when Toronto and Atlanta were playing, that day, I got the information right before I got on the plane as to like what was going to be what, whether we were home or away. So I spent the plane figuring out like, okay, what are we doing? And then as soon as I got off the plane, flew home, got home. I did not watch the match. I did hear that Atlanta scored early. But I decided to work on the home purchase page versus the away to get that one nailed down. And I finished that one. I did get a little bit of the away page set up, a little bit of a structure, but I did not look up. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't even know Toronto had tied. I didn't know Toronto was ahead until I walked out of the room I was in and found Grandma, and she's like, "There's 6 minutes left and Toronto's winning," and I'm like, "What?" I don't know what's happening. I literally just grabbed her hand, and for like the 6 minutes of stoppage time, we were just like shaking, holding each other's hand, like, "Oh my God, this is about to happen," which was great because I had literally 5 minutes before that match ended, finished the purchase page for home, but I hadn't even touched the away one. So apparently, I knew we were going to be at home. Predicted it. So that's one good story. Go ahead, tell a story, Brad. You have a story. I don't know.
Just make one up.
What? I don't know. Let Brad tell a story. We can alternate.
I don't know. Match day was really stressful for me. I did my makeup and I looked like a very beautiful beauty guru, and it was great. And I was like doing fine. And then I got to the light rail and I sat down and I was like, oh God. And I felt it and I was like, oh shit, this is going downhill really fast. So then by the time I like found my family downtown, I was just like standing on the sidewalk outside Cherry Street Cafe, trying not to throw up on the sidewalk. And so like that was pretty much the next like 2 hours until kickoff. And I was like, no one touched me, no one talked to me, like just leave me alone. I was hanging on by a thread. So basically 2016 MLS Cup all over again. So that was really fun, but then it was fine. I survived and now we're here and more stars. So.
Yay, stars.
Larry, how do you feel about stars? Larry says, yay, stars.
I didn't actually even freak out or even think about the match because I just was too busy. I didn't sleep much. I didn't, whatever. I was just too busy doing ticket distributions, telling people that Renton was not too damn far away for Seattle and it wasn't inconvenient for you to find a way to come pick up your match ticket. My last monkey mail. No, this is an inside joke. It's really funny. But I did get really angry about it because this person, every time I tweeted about like, get down here or, you know, make an effort, was like, but I live so far away. And I'm like, yes, so do I. I don't live in Seattle, but I'm there every day. So, yeah. My last Monkey Mile must have worked because on the day of the match, there were only 27 tickets left out of 247 to distribute. So that last one definitely resonated with some people who made the extra effort on Saturday to secretly find me at the TIFO sessions or found us at Fuel on Sunday night or Saturday night, which helped a lot. Saturday, I know. Saturday, Sunday. Yes.
It's upside down.
Is it really? Cool. I think it's because that's what I feel about MLS.
Is this like when you flip the American flag upside down because the country?
That's what I feel about MLS. Scheduling all these games on weeknights and back to back with a very short notice time. That's what I feel about that. I mean, we had a 3-week window, which all could have been done on weekends. And I think it would have been amazing had they been on weekends.
Also, fuck this league for scheduling the final at noon on a Sunday.
Yes. Although I do have to say, in one way, yes, it being first thing in the morning actually sort of worked.
I think 1:30 on a Saturday would have been perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit later. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It is.
Everything is always Matt Oak's fault. So,
He rallied great though. God. Yeah.
bye, bitch.
At the other Sounders podcast thing that was happening, can I talk about other Sounders podcasts on this podcast? Okay, cool.
How did that go?
Well,
Because some people
I
were
snuck
there.
into Hellbent, but like don't tell anyone. So I get in there, and like pretty much everyone had left by then, but it was me and my sister and Emily and Jeremiah and Brad Evans. And Brad's like talking to us and everything, and he like turns around, he like goes to leave, and then he comes back and he goes, "Love you, bye," and then just like walks away. And we're all like, love you too? It's the funniest thing. Like, he had been drinking tiny beers all night, so like it was really fun. But like he was like, "Love you, bye," and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. It's very good, just very wholesome Brad content.
That was really. I have to say the tidbits of things I got. That was one of the fun things, was to see all the former players come back. A lot of different former players come back.
I
It's really
appreciate
neat.
Colton for being able to witness my bro hug with Freeberg. Just going.
Brad, yes, while we're talking about Brad. Brad's going to be
Because
doing
we're homies,
something
apparently.
soon.
Brad walks up to our table, and he's like, "I'm gonna go to the food truck. Do you guys want food?" And we all just looked at him, and we're like, and he goes, "Food. I'm gonna go get food. Do you guys want any?" And we're like, "No." And then we were like, "Did Evans just offer to buy us all food?"
I think he did.
None of us took him up on that, which seems dumb in hindsight.
Hello.
I was hungry.
He has
So
a
that was a good
fixed
highlight,
income
and then
now. He's retired, sir.
He's living in a van.
I know.
Don't take advantage
And
of
then-
him.
Heather, I think, was eating gnocchi, and Freeberg comes up, and he's like, "What's that?" And someone's like, "Oh, it's gnocchi. You should eat it." And he's like, "What?" And then he ate it, and we all hung out, and I was like, "Why are the players eating our food? Like, this is amazing." And then drunk Taylor Twellman come up the steps. He will not admit to being drunk. He was drunk. He's like, "Where do I go?" I'm like, "That way." And he's like, "Okay." And then he gets a water. And I'm like, "I see you, Taylor Twellman." That was a good
Taylor Twellman.
pre-funk.
Pre-funk.
Which in hindsight, again, is not a good idea. Like, we had a
Pre-funk.
brewery event, and then a bar event, and then another bar event.
And then the
Lots of
MLS Cup
bars.
final at home.
What were we thinking? And it was
I
at
don't know.
noon.
I don't know. What were we thinking?
I had a great time.
A lot of us
water.
did actually leave at a decent time on Saturday.
I was asleep by 9 o'clock on Saturday night.
It was not that.
Emily's tweets about going to the
poked
fact of bed
me
was so
at one
good.
point in the shoulder to make sure that I was still alive, because he was like, "You're very asleep, and you were about to vomit 20 minutes ago."
I actually went home
Did
after
you
TIFO
die?
and then went back to the bar, and I'm like, I should just go back home. I should be done. I didn't listen to myself. And then I went home at, I don't know what time it was.
Tom time.
Yeah, somewhere around there. It was late.
Whenever you lose track of time now and it's the early morning, just call it Tom time.
This is why we
It's Tom
rebranded
time.
to Rachel Feed.
Oh, it's Rachel Feed now.
These kind of marketing insights.
I'm really good at my job.
Nice.
That's why ECS pays me so much money.
So we've got,
Speaking of ECS money, we are ECS.com/join.
wait, you can come up here.
Come up, Emily, help.
I'm going to get out of the
Because
way.
Emily can do stuff, and then I can pep off her because she's good
Hey,
at
Tom,
she's good at this.
you should check Slack.
Emily, we have
Did shit happen?
those flags, Emily.
And it's gonna be.
They like the TIFO.
Hi, everybody. Oh, I'm not on the screen yet. Oh, there I am.
The delay is really
Here
weird.
we go. Haven't made it. So as of today, we have already had 681 people renew their memberships for ECS for next year. If you can imagine, deciding to do a full stadium card display on a week's notice is not cheap. And the display was 100% paid for, put together and set up by ECS funds and members. And so we had already planned to go live with 2020 memberships on November 1st.
Very
And
smart
thank
decision
God
over here.
we had, because that's really one of the only ways that we were able to do that, was to start getting funds in early for next year. So please, if you have not renewed or joined, as low as $20,
As low
you
as
can become a
$20.
We Are ECS member. WeAreECS.com/join. I am now a walking infomercial, but
Yeah.
it's been super fun to see people renew that haven't in a decade, to see people join for the first time, and just to get everybody excited. So we have the end of season party coming up, which is set to be a downright
Shit
raucous
show.
event.
Amazing.
2019 or 2020 members can go and buy tickets online right now. But it's going to be a really good time. We're going to have...
Yeah, we do need volunteers to help with setup, teardown. We need someone with AV skills to help us put up the production of the show. So if anyone has any talents there, they can email Tom at WeAreECS.
And shout out to Shannon over here, our friend Nikki Graziano, who lives in New York City, who just got back, and I think I just saw is in the chat. On
Nikki.
Saturday night, what day was that? Saturday, we were all sitting around talking about how we wanted Nikki to come back for the party, and she's like, "That's 2 weeks from now. I live in New York." And Shannon opened her phone
Sounds like a personal
and went,
problem.
"You have a flight now," so Nikki's coming. That'll be really fun to have her here again.
Oh,
So
and Nikki said that we need to. Oh, Nikki and Brad said one of the things we haven't communicated very well is that you can actually donate directly to the TIFO fund in any amount you would like.
now it's just becoming, please give us money.
No, I'm just saying, if you are so inclined, on the
For
donation
27
page,
cents a day,
on the donation page,
you can ensure
make
a
a
supporter
donation directly
can
to the
make a
TIFO fund.
Yes.
But
It'll be
it was
like the Sarah McLachlan commercials.
super fun to see the number of people that came out for TIFO. Oh my gosh. Rigby, oh, watch out. Rigby's going to eat all the tomatoes.
All the tomatoes. All the tomatoes.
So one moment that I hadn't talked about yet, so I ran down to be with Larry after we won to, see my husband. And Joe Towner was on the field, and he was one of the photographers. He was crying so hard. I don't know how I think he just held his camera up occasionally to pretend like he was taking photos because he was just sobbing. And
Yeah, I saw that.
It was really fun to watch. Just see everyone's reactions. And I had tweeted it and I had been joking about it, but the first goal made me cry. The second goal, we all broke down sobbing.
Big mood.
And the third goal, we were ready to run through walls. At that point, I think, was like the progression.
We're good.
Of, oh my God, let's fucking go. And I think that's kind of the emotional arc that I went through during those 90 minutes. But I had been incredibly nervous about the cup. The whole, let's not vomit on the street. I totally feel that. Yes. And for some reason, at halftime, and I watched the same first half as everybody else did, we win, we're going to win. I had no doubt.
You walked up to me and you were like,
that was it. And I don't know. And I hadn't thought that at all. And it was not a first half that should have given me any confidence.
I do remember you saying that in the stands. And every time I would get stressed out, I was like, but Emily said we're winning, so it's fine.
But I don't know. There's something about Brian Schmetzer's halftime speech. When it's an MLS Cup at home, there was no way that we weren't going to win that cup. So, good news, we did.
I do think that if it went to penalties, everyone in the stadium would have died.
Yes. Quite literally. All would have blown up.
It would have been a little bit too much, but I'm really glad we could get it done in 90 in such a convincing way, unlike how the commentators would like us to believe.
Yeah,
At one point they said, I don't even know if the Sounders deserve to win this game. It's like, so actually the Sounders scored more goals than the other team.
Hey, we had 6 shots on goal, okay?
Oh, I celebrated the fuck out of that first shot on
one.
goal.
Yep.
I was like,
yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Oh yeah, Schmetz gave me a hug on the stand. It was really nice. I didn't know what to do. Like you said.
Don't know what to do.
Sean and I made faces at Macklemore when he got on the stand. Excuse me, sir. No,
Hers
I
was not caught on
I was
camera.
shorter than he was, so,
So
it
you
didn't
couldn't
get in
see
the
her
photograph.
face.
But
I just kept yelling from the stand, go away, Ben, no, you won't.
at one point we were trying to get more players to bring the cup up on the stand, and Javi just took it and ran.
Ran up the
Like he was gone.
Oh, he took the
We
cup
were like,
and
he
ran
took
off.
the cup and was like on the other side of the field, and we were like, sir, sir,
Ooh, I know.
this is an Arby's.
This is an Arby's. That reminds me of one of my favorite moments that I remember in the madness was Nuhu appearing out of a sea of madness behind all those boards or whatever they were all behind. And Nuhu just literally somehow emerges first with the cup in his hand and literally is like, okay, enough. I'm going to plop this down in front of this section and let's go. Like, and he started like organizing the camera people and all the media and was like, you go over there and you go over there. And then was trying to encourage the rest of them to come so that they could do the final salute, which is, it seems like a little thing, but it's a huge thing.
Did you see that Brad Evans interview about Nuhu? You have to listen to it. I'll go find it. So essentially, I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, but he was like, Nuhu is my favorite player of all time. Somehow he's in every single Sounders photo, even though he doesn't
Instagram.
play very often. And he was like,
Celebrating goals.
and he was like, when he went and almost scored that goal in LAFC, he was like, I was screaming at my television. He was like, I've never seen him score a goal, even in practice. Even without a goalkeeper. It's really funny. You guys should watch it. It's pretty good.
It's good.
We all love Nuhu with that bicycle clearance passion. Oh yeah, you should all listen to Schmetzer's post-game presser. He's just so well-spoken and takes notes and pulled out. You know, he had prepared a speech. One side was if we won, one side was if we lost, and it's great. It was really good.
I appreciated in Victor's post-game press conference, he was talking about the game, whatever, and then at one point he's like, I deserve this.
I deserve this.
Was him singing his own song.
Oh my God, it was the greatest moment ever.
He was singing his own song.
Between him singing his own song and him saying, I deserve this. Oh, you.
It's a Rapino quote.
Yeah.
Will you send that to me?
Will you send me that? I need that one.
Thanks, Max.
I need that one. I think
was
my
a-
other thing is like just post game. I don't know 500
Same.
million people I hugged.
Right. Oh,
Big mood.
Saturday night.
Little mood?
Saturday night's pre-party was, old school fuel packed to the brim.
Yes.
So many different faces. Super
Yes.
early. Yeah, some of us headed over directly from TIFO, so I got there at like 3 p.m. And I was like, I'm going to be here for a full work day. We sold a lot of whiskey glasses and met a lot of new folks, got connected some people to regional subgroups. It was really cool to see a lot of people that we don't get to see very often, all the out-of-towners and stuff. And so I know our 4-day bender of bar events after bar events after bar events, but I think every single one of them was important and meant something different. And, Mad Oak's going away party was as Mad Oak's going away party should have been. But I think the weekend was perfect.
Eileen, Brandon, Dylan, Brandy, Dylan, and I'm making up people's names now. We're all standing in the alleyway behind Temple, and we were very, very lucky, and Mr. Levesque happened to walk by.
Who?
Mr. Roger Levesque.
Yeah. Just walking down the alleyway.
Just casually walking around. There was like 4 people with him. He saw us, stopped, gave us hugs, asked us how we were all doing, and he's like, "I'm fucking wonderful," and then just kept walking. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well,
Okay, bye.
bye.
Bye, Roger.
Thanks, I guess."
That was a neat moment.
It was just fun to watch. I think Steph is still wearing his kit. Like, I don't think he's changed yet.
No.
He was running around in full. Still has
Still
the shin
shin
guards
guards
on. I think, just to see how much it meant in his face.
That tweet from Herc was really funny. When Herc goes an hour and a half after the match, "What are you doing, Fry?" And he replied today.
But it was fun
It
because
was
I was too nervous to watch any of the pre-match
yeah.
hype. Like the week before, I was like, I can't watch any of these videos. So I have a very nice stockpile of hype videos.
The Gary Payton video was probably the best one.
Yeah, I have not watched any of them yet.
Played that one while we were setting cards in the stadium. It's like, no, not right now. I can't.
I have now been to corners of that stadium that I don't think I'd ever been to before.
Yes, same.
How the hell? I would never be able to come back down once you get up there with whew, the steep vertigo thing is too much for me, but it was a lovely weekend.
It was great.
I need to sleep for 2 months now.
Yes.
Brenda did get a very, very good video of Harry Shipp and Brian Meredith throwing pizza just in the locker room at various players. Caccini caught
Brian Meredith's
one
a delight.
Caught it
after it landed on his back. He
and then he flipped it over
his
and grabbed it
shoulder
with his hand.
and caught it and then started eating it.
Goddamn soccer player.
And then who is it? Johnny Football himself caught one and was just had this shit-eating grin on his face while he's eating some pizza that was thrown at him.
Quite literally. Fun.
It was fantastic.
She's like, I don't know about this.
Are you trying to
I'm just
envision this
really
video?
tired.
I know. Same.
But
Sleep will happen. Maybe
we had
tonight.
a really nice weekend. I think last night I was up to 75% sparkling wine. By some point, we were just walking around with bottles at some point. And
Bottles, lots of champagne.
it was a good
lots
time.
and lots of champagne.
Anybody else have any good stories?
Yeah, good stories. Somebody else take our spots.
Go away, Tom.
Take our spots.
I mean,
Or
I
is
was
he
gonna-
joining us?
Oh, we're gonna
If
wrap
he's-
it up.
I was going to ask you SonarFeed questions. We can stay on forever.
I haven't done that.
We can stay on forever.
I haven't done any SonarFeed
I
questions.
mean, other people have stories. Let's bring it on.
Okay. I have SonarFeed questions. I haven't
Sorry,
answered
I'm
any.
framing my shirt in the screen.
There you go. Good job. Good job, Em.
Hi, Rom.
Or you
Accurate.
could just move it a little bit that way. Wait, if you move it just a little bit that way, does it? No.
That's
I went
not
the
going to
wrong
do anything.
direction. Darn.
Anyway,
Thought I was helping.
ready?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Yep.
There's
I
yelling.
think the 49ers may have missed a field goal. I don't actually care.
Something very
The
loud
only
just
football
happened
that
inside.
matters happened
Making an
last
observation.
night.
Also,
Yesterday.
I ordered a drink and it disappeared, so knowing this group,
No.
someone else has it.
Yep. Probably.
Anyway, going in.
Okay.
Favorite Girl Scout cookies?
It's Samoa's.
Samoa's.
It's just like you didn't
Anyway.
blink.
I mean, there is no other answer.
Yeah.
I mean,
Samoa's.
Historical figure that you'd like to go in a bouncy house with.
I think my answer was Ruth Bader Ginsburg last time, but
Yeah. Is it still?
let's think. Rigby.
I have an answer
Rigby,
to that
it's
now.
Rigby.
I have an answer.
It's Rigby? That's a good answer.
Bouncy house is
My
called.
answer now would be Edgar Allan Poe because the visual of that is really pleasing.
Larry, bring Rigby up here.
See.
Go ahead, continue.
Wait, you've never done these? Oh my God, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Last $100 or less purchase you made for something that's important to you.
MLS Cup final ticket.
It's a good answer.
Ding, ding, ding.
I might have to move.
No, you're good.
Actually, yes.
Okay, come here. Oh yeah.
Mine was kind of twofold in that, but it did have to do with the MLS Cup ticket.
Dude, Rigby feed is the best.
Hi, Rigby. But her answer is actually a great one. Is yes, because I was able to get a GA ticket for my son initially, and then he told me I don't want to be in GA. I want to be with my friends. And I was like, what? Okay. So when I learned that we could get additional, as a season ticket holder, could get additional tickets, we coordinated with one of his friends' moms to get
Sorry, Mickey's computer.
the 5 of them who didn't care where they were in the stadium up in the 300 level in the same row, because he got to go to MLS Cup with 5 of his good friends, 4 of which he played rec soccer with, and are friends with each other. They played from like 10 years old up until they aged out. So that's mine. So my son got to experience it too.
Good purchase.
Even though I think I saw him for about 2 seconds today to be like, hey, how was it? It was great. And I got drunk and cool. And all right, gotta go, bye. But I'll have more to talk to him. But he enjoyed it. Yes,
What do you
he
think
enjoyed
Rigby's
it.
last $100 purchase was? A new bed.
Yeah, that's true actually.
I had a
Yeah.
$37 tab at Fuel, and I'm completely unsure as to how that actually happened in real life.
My
So,
bills
I'm all right
were
with it.
surprisingly very small. I don't know how that was
It only
possible
charged
for
me
the amount of
$26
alcohol I drank.
for 2 tiny Spaniards and 3 Tecates.
So MLS Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
the
was
math
amazing.
didn't add up.
We
But
did
I'm
have
okay with
wrong
it.
colored tiny Spaniards because we went to the pharmacy and that's all they had. They were blue instead of green. Still
Are you gonna
delicious.
survive okay?
Victor scored, so I guess they
Yes.
need to be blue from now on.
There's this weird Mickey Turner drink happening.
I Ed bought me a drink. My drink.
He did tell me
Random.
they took so long to charge me that I should have just left.
That actually seems like a bad life choice. Just
I was
leaving the bar, like whatever, I'm out.
So
No,
do we-
just like leaving.
I was gonna go
not
back to
paying.
soccer things.
We can do that.
Do we know how many internationals we're gonna be missing tomorrow?
Yeah. A lot.
Mickey says, actually, he says this. with
Mickey did a
weird
shrug
eye roll
emoji.
thing.
He did. He
Um,
doesn't know the answer.
4 to 10.
Yeah.
In
Anywhere
all
from
seriousness,
4 to 10.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Those are the only 2 that are known.
Nico
no.
Ladero, though,
Brad Smith is already gone.
Oh my god.
he's here.
You're like, that makes it easier and less stressful.
Jovan Jones is already gone.
I saw him with a bag.
It was a suitcase. Delem would be gone. Raul will be gone. Yeah. So a lot of them will be missing.
You haven't really met
I do have to say though, I'm actually appreciating that this is, and I mean like season ending. No, I didn't appreciate the condensed schedule this year, but the season ending earlier
I think
this year.
Rigby feed may have ended.
Rigby's like
He was
done.
over it.
Hey Larry, can you?
Like, I'm out.
Rigby's done.
What other soccer things would you like to talk about?
Oh.
I mean, we could talk about the sad parts. The season's over. Who's gone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there are going to be players not on our team by the ECS party.
Yes, there will be players because isn't there a trade window open right now?
There's an
opened
expansion draft as well.
And an expansion draft that's coming up
It's a conference call. It's okay.
that we have to protect some players from.
It's actually a lot of tomatoes.
Osvaldo Alonso is already upset about not being protected by the Sounders for the expansion draft.
Again. I'm okay with this. So we could talk about this. If you want to speculate right now, 3 players you think are gone.
Tom Barrow.
Brad Smith.
No.
Fire.
I don't actually even know the
It
status
came
of
from
I
it.
your
think the
vicinity.
I know. I think the one that honestly, the one for me that honestly will impact
staying forever,
everything the
goddammit.
most
Alex rolled on.
is if Goose leaves. If Goose is gone, the way
It's gonna be
he's played
bad.
for our
Yeah.
team,
If Goose-
especially down this
that's
stretch,
gonna be a big hit.
it's going to hurt us a lot. If
Harry
he chooses
Ship
to
was
leave,
just brought up in the crowd.
So
He
Goose.
can walk, goddammit.
he can walk.
that he
So
can.
Goose, Harry,
Brad.
probably Brad, probably Roman Torres.
Oh my God! Someone said New Who? No.
That is a possibility
rude.
too. If he wants,
Louis Silva.
Or maybe she's excited to go back to Australia.
Oscar.
Dylan.
Oh,
That guy.
V-Rod?
He was okay for a hot second.
that is possible.
Who the fuck is this person commenting? I will find you.
JJ just got a death threat.
JJ, I don't think I know you, but we're enemies now.
Oh, he's on his way.
That's fine,
So-
bitch. I'll fucking fight you in the parking lot. Let's go.
All right, so we've talked a little bit of speculation about players that are not
Yeah.
here, which is the downer news. Thankfully, this is not actually happening in the hotel the day after
true.
MLS Cup,
Yes,
which is what happened in Toronto.
No, it's just happening
Both
at
times.
home the day after the MLS.
both times.
we'll
No,
give-
but
we have a
both
couple
times.
days.
Yeah,
I think it's Friday.
it's Friday.
We get till Friday. Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Brett is slightly more organized than everyone else here. By a factor of. By the factor. The comment was potentially some in the front office. And I'm here for this. Have you seen her spreadsheets? Yes, I have actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Will Bruins back before midseason?
I think
I
so.
thought it
He's
was
already
early.
been practicing, so
Early, right?
Yeah, I'll be back at the beginning of the season.
Mickey Turner
Yeah, JJ.
officially says he'll be back. Who do you want to play in CCL?
you.
I'm all right with that.
I think we would
So
win.
wait, our options are limited, right? There's only a handful of.
Our options are good. Do you still have that handy? We do not want to play the Campeones Cup.
We have to.
Fuck that. I know, we have to. If we start like a really good 11, I'm going to be genuinely upset. Online and offline.
You know what? They should sign ECS.
What'd you say?
Top team just for that.
I'm pretty sure ECS.
I thought you said it's all friends and family.
Season plays against Public Classic plays in the Campeones Cup.
Honduras, Costa Rica.
Okay, yeah. So here
Who's
are
still
the
bigger than
possible
most?
So we have
CCL.
potentially
And he's like
Costa Rica,
7.
It's Olympia.
Jamaica.
Right? So is it 2 Costa Rican teams?
There's both Costa Rican teams,
Both Honduran teams.
one Mexican team, El
Guatemala.
Salvador,
And El Salvador.
and then the Caribbean team, which is Jamaica.
If you've not been to Honduras, you should go. And if we go to Honduras
Are
again,
you being paid by Honduras right now?
I'm not.
He
But
has-
I have.
He has
Visit
been there.
Honduras.com
He has
across the
been
back
there.
of his shirt.
I know.
I have, however,
Been there twice, right?
purchased enough alcohol in Honduras to finance another trip for all of us.
Honduras,
way,
if
that
you're
was
listening, it's Tom at
a
weareecs.com.
double-digit bottle of rum times 25. We're all gonna die. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so do you have
CCL.
a CCL? What do you want?
Oh,
To win
all
it,
of them. I'll
Well,
go
other
with
than that, do you want to go to Guatemala? Do you want to go to Mexico? Do you want to go to Honduras? Do you want to go to Costa Rica?
Jamaica.
I would
I would
really
like
enjoy
to go. I would like to go
going-
to Jamaica, but the location of the actual team, is very far. It's like a 4-hour drive from
Yeah.
Kingston to where they are.
Jamaica's the only
Yes, it is.
country on the list that I've been to before, so I would like it to not be Jamaica.
No, it's literally a 4-hour drive. I've looked it up. I've looked up where they
Costa
are.
Rica
It's
would
4
be
hours
nice,
from Kingston.
but I'm
Costa
going
Rica,
to
Alaska.
Costa Rica
exactly.
would be my fun.
I am
would
going
be
to
fun.
Puerto Rico in February, so I don't think I'm gonna
You
make
can
it.
go again. It'll be okay.
Or I could just convince my Max to move his birthday. Be like,
I mean, just work on that.
His birthday.
Yeah, just move it. It's cool. It's easy.
Oh, that is true. It's, the player union, CBA.
There's that
Talks.
CBA thing.
So maybe no one will be playing.
Rigby will be
JJ
playing.
asks,
Oh,
if
yeah.
the CBA is locked up, does Seattle send the Defiance or what?
That is
Good
a
question.
good question.
They send tomatoes.
Did you see Tom? Did you see the players union message that came out?
Today? No. This week?
I think it was after the MLS Cup
They
was over
tweeted it
yesterday.
again.
Didn't see it.
Yeah.
So no is the answer.
It was essentially like the season's over. Let's get to work. Like,
Yeah.
We gotta get this figured out.
Yep.
So good shout, Bregel. Saprissa, San Carlos, Alianza, Comunicaciones. Comunicaciones. That's a hard one. Motagua.
It's not.
Which Motagua and Olympia are the local rivals. So
Yeah.
that's fun. Portmore.
That's Portmore United. That's the one
Yeah.
that's very far
Yeah.
in Jamaica.
Like most things Tom does, he's just making it up.
You're reading the teams from PESR.
I'm not. But thanks, Colton. I don't know. I think I'd like Guatemala or Honduras again.
I would prefer it if we didn't play Saprissa or Olympia or Comunicaciones because we've played them before.
Just to get a
And-
new place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Portmore United. Jamaica.
I'm not Googling Sounders forwards because this sounds like a prank.
JJ and I are fighting, so I don't fucking care what he has to say.
Are you actually fighting JJ?
Yeah.
I'm here for this. I actually will stay here until he gets here just
That's
to
fine.
see you guys fight.
I don't actually know who JJ is, but I'll beat that motherfucker.
A person will come in and they'll be like, "Are you JJ?" All right, so it's 9:05.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The show's only slightly degraded from where it was an
Slightly?
hour ago.
Slightly.
Seahawks
Seahawks just
fans
won.
are
Don't
excited
care.
about a
Oh, yay.
thing. Sports ball.
Did I just do that? Oh, yay. Fucking American football. Don't give a shit.
Is there anybody else
Sorry.
who has something
But
to
I
say?
don't. I literally don't give a shit about
Jerry.
American football.
Get it.
Anybody else? Somebody
Yeah,
please
come on.
let us out of here. We're good.
Irene is also escaping.
Yes.
I am.
We've only jarred the show a significant amount.
Okay, I'm here to get it back on course.
I mean, that's not going to happen.
No, not at all. Second appearance on the show.
What's up?
My second appearance.
What do you have to say?
Well, I have a
Where are
couple.
you on the Twitters?
I am on the Twitters. I am now Jerry with 2 stars.
Nice.
I don't know what the handle is.
Just go with it.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
I had the unique opportunity to introduce my friend to his first ever championship game in the cities for the city. He's come a couple games to me before. Introduced him to this Sounders specifically and the whole atmosphere pregame, march to the match, fuel ahead of time. But he's never actually seen a championship game in person. And so when tickets came about and went on sale, he was the first person. I didn't even think about asking someone else to go. I was like, he's going, whatever it takes. And he showed up to the game. And I was packed in upper 121, and there were people in the aisles, multiple rows. And it's not even just GA, and I'm sure it was up in the 300 level. And 25 times during the match, we all just sort of stood there, stopped cheering for a little bit, and just just sort of look around at the absolute spectacle of what the fuck we were witnessing there. Because, I mean, I got goosebumps multiple times that match. The call and repeats. The apparently now seismic activities that were recorded for every single goal, registered for the geological people, which is pretty cool. And specifically when the whole group down at GA did the pogo, which freaking hell. I've been
The pogo was great.
the pogos, everybody in unison waving flags. I've seen parts of the section that have wave we were going full blur today that sometimes I don't necessarily see. And I have that unique perspective from way up behind everybody. I was absolutely awestruck and absolutely happy that I was able to take it in, let alone get into the stadium. Wouldn't trade that for the world.
I would agree.
Yeah,
That's really dramatic.
it is.
You just like
Surprising.
sold that
Man,
right there.
man.
Your drama.
Drama.
So let's talk about tomorrow.
Tomorrow, the parade.
So there's a parade. There's this rally thing. It's going to happen.
Massive amount of people in the city.
How many people do you think that we get in Seattle Center, and is it more than last time?
See, this is the thing, because the construction that's going on at the Seattle Center, I thought for sure they were going to decide where the end was and go reverse, like everyone was thinking the first time, and start there and work their way back to the stadium. So the fact that they're doing it there apparently means they think they can fit everybody in that area.
I think it's going to be nuts in Seattle Center.
Oh, it's
the parades. Yeah. This is a different. Yeah.
yeah.
Don't know. So people are talking about it maybe being fewer, or people had today off because of Veterans Day and don't have tomorrow and whatever. I think it's going to be nuts nonetheless. And frankly, all the people who work in like Lower Queen Anne are just going to bounce over there because it's midday. But I think it's going to be insane at Seattle Center.
Oh, yeah.
The parade I don't know about, but I do think, and again, they changed the rules. Like it's actually bike gate the entire route, which was not the case the last time, where you could just sort of jump in randomly. People were coming out of their offices or their apartments or whatever and just getting into the parade.
Fortunately, not the case.
Is what it is. I think the Seattle Center thing is going to be a little nuts.
More importantly, though,
Yes.
Jerry, do you know if those jackets have arrived at the pro shop yet?
How far away is the glass of knives? It's not there.
It's actually gone.
Okay. I unfortunately don't think those are available. I think those are player issued only. So next year at the garage sale, probably.
Brad Evans isn't a fucking player anymore. Why does that bitch get one?
He probably got it from Chad.
Chad's not a player either. Yeah, so is Beam. Where's Beam's jacket?
Really?
For the parade?
Speculation from Grandma of 40,000.
Do we know what the numbers were for the last time?
Don't. I don't remember. It was a lot. I don't know how you would even speculate that. Like, it's a Tuesday randomly. Talking about the March, though, but talking about tomorrow. No idea. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's total speculation. Irrelevant of projections. It's going to be cool. I'm excited to see the players being really excited on stage with the cup. I promise that ECS will try and not ruin your trophy day experience with flags as much as we normally do. I cannot promise that. 'Cause someone will just grab it, run across the stage. It'll be Victor Rodriguez, and then Rachel will die. Can you even imagine Victor Rodriguez with a BFF?
No, it's like 40 times bigger than him. And it's adorable.
We are definitely giving Victor Rodriguez the Iron Front flag.
Can I give it to him?
Would you be
die.
able to give it to him?
I'm not going to answer that question.
No, I really expect this to be super fun. I think they've changed the layout a little bit of what's going to happen in Seattle
Tim
Center.
says let's make
Briefly.
it happen. So
Tim wants to ruin everyone's non-match day experience. I'm okay with that.
I'm here to ruin everyone's
if
day.
If the TIFO director is here for ruining people's day, I'm down. That's actually, it's like a starter. Like you don't get the job if you're not okay with ruining people's day.
well, I mean, Larry and I are here, and we're both capos, and you have to follow your capo.
You
so.
generally like ruining people's days. So
Yeah.
I'm just peeking around the bar,
Hi, Larry.
and there are a
How are you?
not insignificant number of people with stars on their faces. And I'm really excited
Always
about
sparkly.
this. Larry's got 2, I think, different size stars on his forehead.
3D and not so 3D.
Stars on your forehead. Yeah.
Not foam.
Larry started it, so some of us followed our capo.
I did this.
Yeah, just come here. Come on.
Seeing Christian lift Beam up after the game was very special. And seeing Beam up on our stand was very special as well.
And then just the smile on his face when we started chanting one of us.
So his mom came to the Bloodworks blood drive at the 90 and donated there. And then she brought Beam to the Out for Blood or the Sweet Jane drive in Kirkland the next day. And Will Bruin was donating, so I drove out there. And Jane's mom, Christine, was like, "Hey, Beam, I really want to get a picture of you with one of the childhood cancer scarves. Will you come with me?" So Beam walks out, and I walk with them and stuff. And she's like, "Okay, pick whichever one you want." And in a second, he picked the Stefan Fry scarf up and held it above his head. And he was just so elated being able to hold up that scarf, and it was so cute.
Not on there. I'm okay with that.
Tom got starred.
I got starred. First time for everything.
How late did you stay out after the game on Sunday?
I went home at 8. I was in bed at like 8:10.
I don't think we shut down fuel at that time because I
Oh, no.
stayed till the end.
I went in this afternoon, and the fuel crew were like, "Do we really have to work Monday Night Football versus San Francisco tonight?" And they were just operating like they didn't have any emotional control. I think it was 10. Out. Corn dogs are leaving.
Bye, guys.
Don't die.
The more important question from the crowd for Tom. When you woke up, how many missed calls did you messages?
When I woke up, I'm going to be conservative. I had 60 missed calls. Oh, no, it was Sarah,
One was
Brandy.
me.
Yeah,
One was
it was good.
probably me.
I was done. I was like, I gotta go to bed. It was
Will you
amazing.
just read how obnoxious that is?
With
Oh.
Seattle's 3-1 win over Toronto FC at CenturyLink Field on Sunday, the Sounders have won MLS Cup champions. Wait, what?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Sounders have won MLS Cup Champions Parade and Rally presented by Primera Blue Cross. Oh my God, where's this from?
This is literally the promo for the parade
Matt
tomorrow.
Oak posted a screenshot of it, which is that.
I literally
On
write for a
email,
living.
too.
I'm going to try this one again. With Seattle's 3-1 win over Toronto FC at CenturyLink Field on Sunday, the Sounders have won MLS Cup Champions Parade and Rally presented by Primera Blue Cross for the second time in history.
I didn't know we won the first one.
You know that the meme where it's just like the math problem is flying in front of people? That's what just happened to me.
Horrible.
I was like, this doesn't make any sense at all. We won the parade. Thanks. We invented winning the parade.
Thanks, Victor.
Actually, thanks, Victor. Yeah.
Yeah. MVP.
He's always been my MVP.
I'm really confused right now. JJ says, by the way, I'm sorry.
Fuck you, JJ.
Your mortal enemy, JJ, says that the 2016 parade had 40,000 people per Cairo. It's not Como, it's Cairo, so that
I don't
could
trust
be
anything
an acceptable
JJ says.
source. Wow.
Sketchy motherfucker.
You bringing that card
Good form. Good form.
tomorrow? Does Rigby like card displays? You're like, it's tomorrow. Like,
Danny is drunk right now.
all right.
I mean,
so,
I was getting the details on phone call earlier.
Are we done now?
I think we're done.
Okay.
Famous last words. Rachel.
Fuck JJ.
Jerry.
For no apparent reason and no clue whatsoever, I'm very hungry.
Why did you say it like that?
If you know, if you know me, you know what it is.
When we're done, you're going to hit this button that says stop, which is very important.
Should I hit
Because-
start?
Don't hit start. You want to hit the one that says stop.
I know I'm being a dumbass.
Are we done?
Yes.
Are we done?
Woohoo!
Go
We
team.
won the parade.
We win the parade.
Victor Rodriguez. Victor Rodriguez.
You guys got 20 more minutes of this shit. Yeah.
Victor Rodriguez.